Thank you very much for the invitation and especially for this fantastic topic because when we are teaching very often now, we are always in this idea that we have the idea, yeah, which kind of tools we take, which is the right model, do we use LLM, large language models, and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, and I hope that I will can show you that, for the next at least then 10 to 15 years, the people will be more important maybe than the machines. But it's changing a lot. And so I was very pleased because, so to prepare this idea. Yeah. And what is the direction we are going? You are working all with machines, so you're working with forklifters or something, but of course if I speak here with machines, I talk about IT machines, computers. And what you have been doing here, if you are in a managing position, which I think most of you are, you used the machines to support your decisions. So the machine works, gives some analysis. And what the idea of artificial intelligence now is, we are not there, but this is the direction we are going, is that the machines are making the decisions and they are only guided, supervised maybe also by humans. So, and this is obviously a fundamental change for the humans and the change of in many dimensions. Some people are afraid because they say, how can machines make decisions? But at the end of the day, most of the, even now when you are working, a lot of decisions are making by machines. And so this would be my topic. So the topic is that, of course, we are still now in this area, and the examples I will show you are mostly of these areas, but this is the direction. And to understand that, from my point of view, to understand what the needs will be from the for the future, we have to look at that. And we always think that we are living in a time of disruption. We are always thinking the people will tell you everything is changing so quick and so on. But I have the luck that I'm teaching a lot internationally, you will see later. And when I was teaching in St. Petersburg, unfortunately it's not anymore possible now, but let's hope that it will be possible, so we cannot go into the Hermitage. I found this picture of Camille Pissarro, very important impressionist. I like the impressionists. And what you see on the picture is a lot of horses. And you see the picture is in 1897 it was made. So this is at the end of the 19th century. And if you go a bit further, we already see 10 years later or 14 years later electrification of the traffic. And then comes the railway, and you see we have a lot of change in the mobility. And what I want to say with these two pictures is that really in former times logistics, mobility changed a lot. And it's from our point of view, it's quite clear that this change is now also in this area of IT and logistics and artificial intelligence. And I wanted to give you another idea of that. Is now with ChatGPT coming up, a lot of people are enthusiastic. And a lot of people think, yeah, it's going very quick. And then they work with ChatGPT and they say, maybe it's not what I really want. Or you're making the first projects. But remember, and I have the luck that I'm teaching so long, so we remembered that when we had in 2000, there was the first online hype. And there was a hype and everybody said, and then it was going down. But at the end of the day, if you look at now, Amazon and all the online shops are changing the world. And this is a very wise phrase from Amara. He's a mastermind in the Silicon Valley, and he stated we tend to underestimate on the long term and overestimate the impact of technologies on the short term. And I think this is, you have to be careful that not now you are so enthusiastic maybe about artificial intelligence, and when the first, let's say, challenges occur, you say, okay, It's not what will be the future. From my point of view, we are here we will see this phenomenon, AI. The probability that AI will change in the next 10 years, everything is very, very high. And yeah, so and so you have to be prepared. And I would like to maybe use now the time to give you some ideas. In a short introduction, I will go to that later. Of course, you can have all the slides if you want. I'm a public worker, so all my work is done for the public. And tomorrow we have so many new ideas that the old slides are old. Anyway, yeah, I would like to give a bit an idea of state of the art of artificial intelligence, because I hope it will not be too technically, but it's very, very important to understand at least a little sign, and I would like to go to some strengths and some weaknesses. Yeah, who needs which AI competence, and yeah, and how do we start and where do we go? And then only a last slide of the future. Yeah, this is our wonderful university. I was born in Unna in Germany. I studied in Tübingen, Cologne, and made my PhD at Koblenz Business School. Then I had a professorship in wonderful Dresden. And since 2001, I'm in Vienna. And I've been teaching a lot in China also. If you look at China, by the way, China has in their next five-year plan AI to become a world leader in AI. And if you remember, you will not remember, but I knew, because I'm working a lot also in the automotive industry, they had the same idea of the automotive industry. And if you look now at the trouble we have in Germany and Austria, Slovakia is unfortunately a bit better positioned, but also there will be some challenges, you see. Because if the Chinese have something in their plan, not everything, I always say not everything that socialistic countries had is bad. Some things also are good, and especially the execution of plans is quite good. There, and they execute that. Yeah, we teach a lot. We have a big institute, very old, more than 100 years old. And this I wanted to show you. We do a lot of research, and if you would like to look at research, maybe you Google, but there's Google Scholar. I don't know if you want to look at scientific articles, Google Scholar is very good, of course, much better than Google, or this is a completely different word. And I Googled, this is my top 2 cited article is about blockchain and green supply chain, and I put it here because this is the future of logistics and supply chain. The future is digitalization, and the future is there. There's still the blockchain, because blockchain was maybe 5 years ago, and you can understand that the citation will be later. Now, I would say that 70% of our articles is about AI, and 50% of the master thesis is also AI. And and it's a hype, but it will come. Yeah, we are very proud that we are ranked since 5 years in top 3 and in the top university ranking with our master program, Master Supply Chain Management. From the actual ranking is 2025, but it's already published. We are number 2. Yeah, some people know me because of the toll calculation. I will go to that very quick. Maybe if you know, we will have very, very high toll increases in Austria. I calculated 12.2 in our tables. It's between 12 and 12.6. It depends a bit on the mixture. And this is not the only one. Switzerland comes, as you probably know, and also others will follow. Yeah. Artificial intelligence actually is not a new term, it's a very old term. I make my diploma, and this was in 86, about artificial intelligence supporting research and development. So for us scientists, it's very old. And you see here, I don't want to go into the details. There were some things, maybe you remember when the first chess computer beat the world champions, that was the people would saying, oh, it's not possible. Today, if you buy a chess computer on the streets for 20 euro, it will beat everybody. And there you see also the development. And AI, of course, is common already, and only ChatGPT was making it famous with advantages and disadvantages. So, what is AI actually? The term artificial intelligence is sometimes a bit misleading, because what we are doing now is maybe not really intelligent. Maybe not that you would say it's intelligent, because intelligence needs emotion, intelligence needs intuition, and these machines, the people are working on that, but they are not doing. So what they mainly do is large number calculations and working a lot with probabilities. Probably you heard that. For example, LLMs is very stupid. They only think what will be the next word, and then they construct that. And there are two phases. Deep learning. This is artificial intelligence networks that learn from input. This is very often that we have to. You heard already. You have to train the program, sometimes visual or text inputs. It's changed also a lot, and and then a supervisor says this is a cat and this is a dog, and you hope that after 100 pictures, the computer or the artificial intelligence will see, aha, that's a dog and that's a cat. Then we have, that's very important, that is an area that is now developing very fast also. What in logistics we used a lot of time, what we call machine learning, that are algorithms to recognize patterns in data sets. That's very important, for example, if you use predictive maintenance, if you look at the behavior of the machines, of the energy consumption, of the noise or whatsoever, and then you see, aha, if this happens, then there will be maybe next hour or next day or next week a failure. And what we are heading to is technologies that allow to simulate human thinking. But as I said, this is, and this would be artificial intelligence. The first two steps are named artificial intelligence also, but they are not very intelligent. Yeah, this is a paper about machine learning, and you see here this is all about probabilities. I don't want to go into that too deep, but it's only to strengthen the idea that really the computers are not intelligent, but they are using mathematical algorithms there. So. One thing that is very important from my point of view in the future, and if I don't know if you have been working with artificial intelligence or thinking, what we do is very often, the computer is very good to consider a lot of inputs. So let's make an example I will show you later. When we have predictions, if you would like to make a forecast, for example, for the number of items you will sell or of the inventory or whatsoever, in former times, you would look mainly on the historical data, as said. But now what we do is with the artificial intelligence, we look at the weather, we look at social media data, we look at the economy. So we look at a lot of inputs. We feed the computer with the inputs, but the computer does so many calculations inside and has so many correlations inside also that at the end he says the demand will be 100, but if you ask him why, he will not give you an answer. And this is very scary for the managers. In fact, many managers ask us when we're doing these projects, they say, yes, but we cannot trust the machine. And that's also something, sometimes it's get hallucination. Maybe you heard about the hallucination in ChatGPT, because the computer always gives an answer. He does not say no. This is due to the logic, and so it's a problem. But with forecasts, if you see, if the forecast is 1,000 times right and 2 times better than your existing program and one time wrong, then at the end, the average is much better of the forecast. And at the end of the day, also, very often he's so wrong that you see, as a human who are supervising this, that you see that cannot be the case, because he thinks, yeah, maybe the world championship will trouble the demand for beer or something, and you know that this not happen. So this is taken into consideration. We are the scientists, and we also try to work on that, at least to get a list and say, yes, important was the weather, important was the social. There was a lot of social media posts that said, oh, I don't know, always names is difficult, but I see Jung Heinrich there. Jung Heinrich has a new forklifter and this is boosting or something. And then you say, ooh, yes, maybe that has an impact, because the social media is very often at the beginning. Not to mention bad, because as you know, and the bad is also very important to follow. Yeah, and why is AI pushing so much, or is moving so much? If we look at innovations, we talk about the push and pull. Innovations are driven by push. That means we have new technologies that drive the innovation. And obviously, you know this law that the computing power is doubling every 2 years, and the prices are going down. So we have now incredible computing power, and we can do things that we could not have even imagined to be doing 5 years ago, and then at a cost that is very, very low. So I remember when we were doing like network projects, we worked for Red Bull for the optimization of their network after they with the expansion in all the markets, and I remember we were buying software for 50,000 euro only for one project, and then we will have the IT was really an issue. Today, it's you can buy at cloud computing power. Yeah, in former times, my colleagues, they would argue when they get an offer from the university, yes, I want this computer. We don't do anymore. Everything is in the cloud. So we have a huge push that is driving the innovation in the AI, and that the demand is huge. I mean, we don't have to discuss. We have we will have social challenges. We have aging society. Probably you heard that the Japanese are working a lot on these issues. So we have so many questions, so many demand-driven AI for AI solution. And to come back to the technical things, this is something that is really impressive. Maybe you noticed that already in your field, the programs are changing. If you're still using Google, you are very much old-fashioned. You can do no problem. But I don't know if somebody heard perplexity. So what now is, it happened. Here the black line is a 0, and this is a benchmark for human beings. And these others are the computers. And what you see is it takes a lot of time to recognize handwriting. But at the end of the day, the computer is now better in recognizing handwriting. And image recognition, also you noticed, now also Facebook says there are some friends there on the photo, please do that, or TikTok or whatsoever. Yeah, but what is really a bit not scary, but what we can use a lot is in the last years, and you see how fast the development goes, this is reading comprehensively. So what now the computers can do very, very well is you give them an article and he makes a summary. And this is what Perplexity, for example, does. It's really fantastic. You type about artificial intelligence in logistics, and then he will say, make a summary of that, like that you will ask ChatGPT, for example, but it will give you also the sources and show you the sources there, so you can evaluate that. And then, of course, language understanding also is very. You know that, if, for example, YouTube, the subtitles, I don't know, in Slovenian, Slovakian good or Czech good, you can do that, and they're much better now. So the translators for the next 5 years, 10 years maybe is good, but it will be more difficult to do so. So you see here this huge development that has a huge impact on because if you can really read, I don't know, from my point of view, the only way to fight the supply chain due diligence law, with all this kind of administration you will have to do in future if this will come into conflict, we can only do with artificial intelligence. Who wants to read all the reports of your suppliers? It's only possible to using this kind of activities here. And the market is tremendous. I don't know, really, it's hardly imaginable. That is a study from PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, and they were looking at the potential of artificial intelligence by 2030, and the study was published I think in May or April, so it's like 6 years. And you see here 15.7 trillion US dollars. And this is a boost by 26% GDP. And GDP is real. So they say that in the next 6 years, artificial intelligence will boost our GDP by 25%. You can hardly imagine, but if you are lucky and have invested into artificial intelligence companies, there you see, because the value of these companies in the stock market, they went up 150 times, a lot of times. And you might think, okay, the stock market is stupid, but the guys who are working there, they are more stupid. So if you're a bit intelligent, you go to the university, but if you're really intelligent, you go to the stock market and make money there anyway. Yeah, so these are all the signs why it's so important, and there are other studies. Yeah, this is a GDP effect. Oops. And this is the market. So the market, of course, it's a bit slower, but you see here, it's also trillion. So it's in US billion dollars. 1,807 billion US dollars is the market. There are other research, yeah. And here you see the perplexity, also how it gives you the answer here. What did I ask? Something, yeah, the AI market size. And the global artificial intelligence market is projected to grow significantly with estimate rates ranging from 638 billion in 2024 to 3.68 million, and here you see all the sources that it was using. This is another study that says it's only 1 billion. So the potential is huge, and to come now to our question, what does it mean and in which areas it is, we see that the increased productivity is one of the main of the biggest effects, but you see also it has new revenue streams, improved customer experience, faster time to market. So there's a lot of positive effects. And what is interesting is that the top performers are seeing much more potential in the artificial intelligence than lower performers. So I will show you also a lot of studies. So really, the companies that are top performing, all the, of course, IT companies, they are betting, or let's say knowing that artificial intelligence will be so important. So, yeah, who needs which competencies in artificial intelligence? And this is also very interesting. This is from a McKinsey study, also published in April this year. The biggest potential for artificial intelligence is in traveling. And you see here transport, retail, automotive, and high tech. And then it goes down the other areas. So our area in transport and logistics is one of the areas where there's the most value, where there's the most potential. And this is definitely the case. Now I would like to address the personal issues. That's very interesting that now a lot of researchers do research how is the effect if we use artificial intelligence compared not using artificial intelligence, because that's very important. Why? Because in this way we could see where there's the potential. And that's a very interesting study of Boston Consulting Group together with Harvard Business School. And what they did is they gave 758 BCG consultants case studies, 18 realistic case studies, and then they make different groups. They looked, the artificial intelligence will self on its own, supported by artificial intelligence, and case study without artificial intelligence. And what they did is they noticed that 12.2% more tasks were on average completed in the same time. So it's a really, even in this, let's say, a bit more complex task, 12.2% increase of productivity. That's huge. And not only that, most of the tasks were completed quicker, and the quality was significantly higher, more than 40% higher quality from the consultants who are using the artificial intelligence to them who are not using that. And that's also, from my point of view, very impressive. What also is very interesting from this study is that artificial intelligence helps the less qualified people more than the high qualified people. And this is also the reason why a lot of people who are not so qualified, they are worried. Yeah, so we can subsidize. But also we can help them a lot more. So you see here, this is the bottom half, and this is the top half of the consultants here. And the bottom half, the ones who are worse, they would profit from artificial intelligence much more than the top half of the participants. So, and maybe you notice, this is also something that is in the artificial intelligence, which are mainly large language models now, is the problem is the large language models they are learning. For example, if they are open from the internet or from your pools, and they are learning a kind of average. So if you are below the average, obviously the learning is better. But if you look for excellence, it's still difficult. It's very good for the formulation, because some people who are excellent are not so good in communicating. So if you would like to, you have some good ideas and you put that into artificial intelligence, it will come with a perfect answer. Some people even say it's too perfect because it's not so individual, at least. Yeah. So, but this you have to take into the mind, and that will mean we can help our lower skilled workers more. This is from consultants, but we think that it's also for planners, transport planners, disponents. So you know that a good planner saves you money, a bad planner burns the money. So, and if you can avoid that the bad planners, transport planners, are burning the money, that would be a big thing. Maybe it will not make the good planner so much better, but it still can do. Then is something that is very interesting also that you have to take into consideration. Artificial intelligence, at least at the stage we are now, is not good for every problem. In some problems, it was worse. This was here. So they noticed that the creative product innovation was supported very much by the artificial intelligence. So the performance was 40% better. But complex tasks like business business problem solving was even a bit less. So here the use of artificial intelligence was misleading, and that's also very interesting. We also think that this is one of the directions where, of course, a lot of people are working. So we are very, very good at defined tasks, I would say. For example, route optimization together with a planner, there we are very good. But if we have a complex tasks, it's much worse. I would like to give you now an example. Eric Weiss is a PhD student of mine, and one of the areas which is very promising is the forecasting. And they founded a new company, it's called Circly. Here it's also written here. A startup, and they have the idea, they have all this idea of to become a unicorn. Means 1 billion, and they are crazy. But okay, 400% growth every year, and because if you can grow 400%, you can have the valuation of 1 billion in 5 years. And they are quite good. But what I show you here is a practical example of what I said. So first of all, we try to, and that is also one thing that is much easier now than it has been used before. When I was young, we have to ask the IT, please give us the data, and they would say, oh, it will take 2 months. And now what these guys do, they onboard the new customers within 1 day. It's unbelievable. And the reason is why? Because if you have a SAP system or Oracle or something like that, the data is not anymore a problem. They have, of course, like, it's not this company. all the companies are working there. They have interfaces to these APIs to Excel, and you can upload the company files. Then, what I said before, oh, I'm sorry, it's in German, I have to translate. Feiertage means holiday, Konkurrent means competitor, Google Trends, this is the social media, so there's a lot of social media talks, other social media. Ausverkauf means like sales activities or promotion activities, also the Wirtschaft means economy and weather data. So they put that together, they train the system with the data from the past, and then they make a forecast. And the forecasts are incredibly good. You see, this is an example from a small retailer. And the black line is the sales, and the green line is the forecast the computer did. And what you see here also is that's very, very good. He can traditional forecasting systems, they have always difficulties to look at different fluctuations. This is due to the fact how they do the forecast. Instead, the artificial intelligence, he knows quite well that on, I don't know, Thursday before a long holiday is more sales. And if the weather is good, then it's even more or even bad. And if it's, I don't know, whatsoever, if the economy is bad, then. So they take a little to consideration. This is an example here. And this is another product that they scanned and is quite impressive. This is why they are growing with 400%, because, for example, this we can say, Stiegl, probably you know, a very famous Austrian brewery, they were very skeptical, and we said, no worries, you can have you can use the software for 1 month. They have no long-term contracts. They say, okay, if you're not satisfied, cancel the contract. And they noticed that the forecast probability grew from 60% to 80%, and this is game changer. You can really do that. And within 1 month, they decided, okay, we will use that. And they're still using. And then they say, everybody, that's very good. And so the next companies are coming. So this is one area of forecast, but in our field of logistics, we have so many other areas. We have Sortimentsgestaltung, means the category management. We have a project with a pharmaceutical company, category management, tremendous results in all other areas. Also in our logistics, route planning, picking algorithms, and of course also from the customer side, a lot of new things. And all the big players obviously are using artificial intelligence. You have iPhone or your phone, if you have another smartphone, it has a lot of artificial intelligence inside. So to sum it up, where AI is strong. AI is strong in big data processing. So what you have seen is in former times we tried to reduce the number of data. Now we say, okay, let's use a lot of data, throw it inside, and the probability that it gets confused is very little. Sometimes you cancel some things, you experiment, is this better without this data set or with the data set? And then what I call multi-dimensional fuzzy problems. I don't know if this is clear. So it's operations research is very, very good if you can formulate, if you can have a formula. But artificial intelligence is very good in seeing the relationships, the probabilities, the correlations, and for this it's very good for problems that are not so strictly formulated. Yeah, of course, learning from the past. If we cannot learn from the past, then it's a big challenge. So, for example, when COVID-19 hit, it's a challenge. Then the brain is still better, huh? And you can understand, maybe the people will stay at home and this will mean this and that. This the computers cannot do. They only learn from the data. And of course, fast reaction times. Yeah, and to sum it up, the AI sees patterns, but the humans can see potential, or also a bit better the risks. So my prediction for the future is most repeatable physical process will be done by robots, which will be controlled by artificial intelligence in our field. We will deload the trucks, we will load the trucks, we will have also the intralogistics, so there's a lot of potential. Yeah, then we have not been talking so much about that. AI and machine learning will replace repeatable administrative works. So all these people who are reading customs declarations and all this kind of stuff, that can be done very, very well with artificial intelligence, and including a lot of logistics service. AI will plan and control many activities, for example, transportation, warehousing activities might be a bit scary. There will be still somebody who is looking at that. AI agents will make purchasing, transport, and logistics contracts. This is maybe a bit from 2030 on. As probably you heard, no-touch purchasing is one of the big issues, and we will need AI there. And yeah, but we will still need people to supervise and service robots, AI, and new capabilities are necessary to have this. Yeah, I will try to speed up a bit because we are a bit in time late. What are the changes for the companies? They don't understand artificial intelligence. So that would be my advice. Please try to understand at least a bit. You don't have to set up a program. This is not the case, but try to understand what are the advantages. The corporations are lacking AI strategies. I will show you later what we have to do there, or we think we do. Then they fear the risk of obsolescence. It's clear. So there's so much development, and employees and management are afraid. Yeah, and the technical solution is in many cases the smallest problem. We have, you can also what we are doing. We don't develop new algorithms. What we have been doing maybe in the former times, what we see is what algorithms are there. So, I come now to the last chapter, every business problem needs a solution. I think that's clear for you. You are managers. For us, not every science problem has to have a solution, but for business, you have to find a solution. But not every solution needs AI, at least now. So really, what we will do is, I will give you some hints afterwards how to use. From my point of view, one of the biggest challenges is we need usability, because what we want to do, the people are still skeptic about artificial intelligence, and if the programs are not very easy usable, you can forget it, that's quite clear. A second thing is data is king. We need, as I said, the artificial intelligence is learning from the data. So the first step before you even think of artificial intelligence, think about your data. From my point of view, all logistics companies, all supply chains, we need digital twins. So we need to have a digital twin, a digital, let's say, picture of the processes of the data, and this we have to do because reliable data and digital twins are the key to artificial intelligence. And we see that now a lot. We've been discussing with big companies already some time, and then the last step is use powerful tools. And there are a lot to analyze, design, optimize, plan, and control. I don't think that Watson was one of the first, but I took this to show you that they are doing the same that you have seen before with Circly, social media, news feeds, weather, historical data, and then they are using cognitive technologies to do the reasoning. So now what we do is to support the people. From my point of view, the first is, and we see that a lot of companies do that, create an AI team or competence center. So you have to find somebody who's in the company that is responsible. Collect structure, information, AI development, and assess them for your own company. And then develop an AI strategy and review this strategy. Yeah, we will. The last thing is I want to tell you we have a lot of advantages of AI, but AI needs governance. The problem is there's a lot of reports. For example, Samsung. Some Samsung programmers, what they did is they put the code into the ChatGPT, and then it was getting public. And you see there many have the same challenges. And what competencies do we need? Don't trust 100% AI. We need data awareness. You have to train your people that the data is important. We need much more data engineers. So we have to train the people and maybe get new people for data engineering, data analytics, and modeling know-how also. Yeah, so this was a short overview.
Thank you very much for the short overview.
The surfers began to pedal before you know where the wave is, and the wave is coming.
Okay, Sebastian, thank you so much. Poprosím potlesk. Pán profesor má určite veľa čo povedať. We have just one question for you, very quickly. So, what technical and digital skills should logistics workers develop to stay competitive in the future? What do you think?
Yeah, it's especially, I think the biggest change will be in our, we need data analytics. So if you work in a logistics fields, you have to look how we can analyze data, how we can use the tools. And in the shop floor, I think it's easier because, for example, for forklift drivers and these people, they will get very, very good interfaces. But I've seen, I don't know if you've seen AI dash cam. We have for drivers, there are now dash cams, and the dash cam analyzes, it's called edge computing, so there's a little computer inside. He knows if this is a dangerous situation, and only in dangerous situation it is making a little film, 11 seconds. So we will see for the workers a lot of aid. For our, let's say, planners, there's the biggest change.
Sebastian, thank you very much for your presentation. Tí z vás, ktorí sa budú chcieť opýtať nejaké otázky pána profesora z Viedenskej univerzity, tak bude. So you're going to be here all day, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.